Coming to you live from the home studio they paid way too much to build. The one and only husband and wife duo who've never had a fight. Yeah, right. Your hosts for the talk of Southwest Florida, Kim and Ed Wright.
And hello, everybody, and welcome to episode number 2 of the talk of Southwest Florida. Miss Disorganization here.
The name.
I didn't forget the name. You got me so frazzled because you're not organized. You're looking for sticky notes. I'm trying to get the green screen up so we don't get the wall in the back. I got my hair cut for today.
It's fabulous.
It's a giant thing on my head.
It's a vein.
Holy moly. All right, everybody, we're going to get right to our guest. Oh, before we get to our guest, I want to let everybody know that we are on Twitter. It's the Talk of Southwest Florida, or Southwest FL, because I guess you have a limit on the number of letters you can use on Twitter. We have a YouTube page, but apparently you need to have a certain amount of videos before you can actually broadcast live on a YouTube page. So we're using the Beach Talk Radio page on my personal page right now to broadcast. We got a great show lined up for today. A huge topic to talk about later on in the program. And we're going to have a Facebook page also at some point this weekend. So baby steps for us because, you know, we're just getting out of the chute here. But what we always like to do is promote local businesses. And right there, I'm sure you recognize him just by looking at him. It's Andrew Wright. He is the store manager for the brand new Christmas tree shop. Andrew, how are you, man?
Good. How are you guys?
Doing
good.
Doing great. Now, your store just opened up, right? And you know, I have to tell you a funny story. Hannah, who's you don't want me to tell a funny story? I can never tell a funny story with her. I need to do the show by myself sometime. So I was driving around. I wanted to go into the store and check out the store and see, you know, what was inside the store. So I was driving around the other day on my bike. And then even today I was driving around in the car and I'm like, man, I just can't find this store. So I sent an email to Hannah at your corporate office. And I said, Hannah, I've been driving around Gulf Coast for like this is my second try now. I'm driving around Gulf Coast. I can't find it anywhere. And she says, dumbass, it's at, Coconut Point. It's not at well, she didn't call me dumbass, but I know she wanted to. It's actually in Coconut Point is where the new store is. So tell us where it is.
So, yeah, we are on Coconut Point, kind of near the Super Target. Between Michael's and Ross are right there. So it's a great location. It's been fantastic for us so far.
Which is in Estero for anyone.
Is it? Yeah, it is in Estero. That is correct.
Yeah.
8020 Mediterranean Drive in the Coconut Point Mall. And so Andrew, how did you get involved in the Christmas tree shop?
So, you know, I'm very, very similar to most people who live in Florida now. I'm relocated to Florida recently. I've been in retail for quite a few years, owned my own business for some years before that. This was a great retailer to come work for. It's a fun shopping experience. People love us. So I was super excited when I got the opportunity to come work with CTS. Now,
I'm not familiar with the company. Where else are there stores? Where did they originate from?
There's 81 stores in 20 states. 81 stores. If you've done your research, you would have known there's 81 stores.
So my guess for you, Kim, is that you are probably either originally from Florida or a Midwesterner or something like that. We are, a lot of our stores started out in the Northeast. So Cape Cod was our very first store. So we're very, very huge following in the Northeast. So a large percentage of our stores are there.
Now, I am from the Northeast, but I am from such a very small town that we didn't have anything. And we've been here for, 20 plus years. So
there you go.
That explains it.
They didn't even have a Home Depot in her town, Andy. No. They had to go down to an hour away to get Christmas trees every year. So
we actually, where I grew up, we would cut down our own Christmas trees. We would just go out there and cut them down and string popcorn and cranberries for garland. That's,
I'm a Midwest person. I've done that same thing myself.
Very cool. So what do you have inside the stores? Tell us about some of the
if
products.
You did your research,
stop.
Oh, look at
just
that.
Christmas. It's
So,
it's all seasonal stuff, correct? I mean, you have seasonal
that is
stuff
correct.
and you have everything. So tell us what you all have.
Yeah, so we do lots of different types of things, but we are certainly a value seasonal retailer. If you walk in our store right now, what you're going to see is harvest and Halloween merchandise. It won't be too long, and there is a little bit of Christmas merchandise in our stores now, but it won't be too long before that main space turns into Christmas space. We sell all kinds of merchandise, seasonal merchandise, bedding, bath, food. We are a value retailer. We sell pretty much all your needs. We go with the tagline, every season, every reason.
And Andy, how does a store like this work year round? Because when you start to see the holiday stuff go up in places like Lowe's and Home Depot around now, and they don't carry it all year round. But what's unique about your store that you're able to make it a year round business?
So that is what that every season, every reason is, right? So you see fall harvest in our stores and Halloween. It'll turn to Christmas. Come the spring months, you're going to see Valentine's and Easter. In summer, we sell Americana merchandise. I think in our stores here in Florida, you're always going to see a little bit of swim, beach, pool merchandise because it's so popular down here. So we kind of cater to all seasons, really.
Also have like housewares and gifts that people can get.
Correct.
So
Absolutely. Yeah. So we have a great selection of cards. We have a great selection of housewares. We have a great selection of food. We are a retailer who sells a little bit of everything and some really, really neat finds. One of the things that I really enjoyed coming to work for the company, when I interviewed with the company, they talked about the treasure hunt. And I've seen people in our stores for hours. Last week when we had a grand opening, there was a lady in our store for 3 hours shopping, trying to find all that cool, fun stuff.
So what is the cool, fun stuff?
So anywhere from outdoor furniture and patio to we have glow in the dark Halloween flamingos that I'll tell you right now, my wife already bought some of those. There's fun merchandise throughout the store. I would say a big part of it right now is that's all of it is our seasonal merchandise. Halloween decor, fall decor is super big right now.
So after Christmas, which I'm going to guess is a very big seller, what is the season that's probably the next in line?
I obviously Christmas is what we are known for. We probably do it, I would say, better than anyone. Christmas is really the obviously it's in the name. So what makes it, we stand out for that. In terms of what's after that, in terms of what's big, I think for this store, our locations in Florida, what's going to be big year round is beach seasonal pool merchandise. You wouldn't believe how many pool noodles I've sold already. And you would think everybody's got a pool noodle already here in Southwest Florida, right?
What does a pool noodle go for?
Pool noodles right now, I have pool noodles for $1.29.
So they really weren't affected very much by the inflation that's going on,
no, they were not. So
I see.
Those are, again, we're a value retailer. You're going to find very good prices on all kinds of merchandise.
Do you offer a discount on pool noodles for buying a 6-pack, or buy one? No, nothing like that.
At that price, you're going to get $1.29. You're going to get as many as you want for $1.29.
So,
but you do have some specials that run coupons and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we are running. So, the big thing that I tell people all the time, sign up for our emails. I know you get emails all the time that'll get you $10 off a $50 purchase. Sometimes we run bigger discounts than that. So if people sign up at christmastreeshops.com for our emails, they're going to get great coupons all the time. We're running specials all the time.
Now, do you have, like, when you talk about the pool stuff, so do you have like Christmas stuff that people can like, what do you call those things that you put on your arms? The floaties. You have Christmas floaties, or are they really just beachy kind of stuff? Do you dress everybody up?
So right now, no, I haven't seen anything like that. I wouldn't expect that we'll see anything in that line, but we do have, like I said, for example, for Halloween right now, there are Halloween flamingos, right? So you are going to see some Christmassy coastal type of merchandise. And we do have Christmas coastal right now. So there's a great line of Christmas coastal merchandise that is tied to being beachy, fun stuff that's related to also being coastal merchandise.
What is a holiday flamingo? I mean, what do they look? What do they do with those things? You just put them out in the yard, or
exactly. It's a yard flamingo. Yep.
Yeah, and are they HOA approved and all that, or do you got to run the HOA?
I make no guarantees about HOA approvals.
How big are they? Are they on can kids ride them?
It's a standard Halloween flamingo. I don't know the size exactly, but it's super fun. It's again fun merchandise.
Don't mind me. I know I'm asking you dumb questions. Well, we know you have holiday flamingos at your shop.
Do you sell artificial trees there?
Get close to the microphone, man.
Yes, we do. So right now we have some tabletop trees, but in the future we'll have trees all the way up to 7.5 feet, artificial trees. Trees is something that we stand out for as well too, and we'll have a large assortment of them.
How big is your operation there? A big store, medium-sized store, or?
And so in terms of the way we operate, I'm going to say it's a medium to medium large store.
Yeah.
We have some locations that are bigger. We've got 2 more stores opening in Florida yet this fall. The one closest to us that's opening up is going to be in Sarasota, and that store is going to be where we're about 30,000 feet. They're going to be between 45 and 50,000 square feet.
30,000 square feet is a big store. Whoa.
It is a big location, but like I said, that one in Sarasota is even larger.
Yeah. And the other one's in Pembroke Pines, right?
Pembroke Pines is the other one opening up yet this year.
Are you going to run the whole Florida operation? Is that what your goal is?
No, I have a boss that runs the whole Florida operation. I am here in Estero running this operation. I've got my hands full with that.
I'm sure. And you guys opened officially when? A couple weeks ago?
We opened officially. We had a soft opening on August 28th. We had our grand opening this past Saturday.
And what are the hours going to be?
So we're open Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Sunday, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m.
I knew that.
Now, do your employees have to dress up for the holidays, different holiday seasons, or do you have just one uniform?
We don't make people dress up, but we certainly allow festive dressing for the holidays. Yeah.
When people walk into you, say, "Welcome to the Christmas tree shop." Is that, to get people in or are you playing? Are
you stealing that from another restaurant? Moe's.
Do you go ahead?
We greet people. Absolutely. We greet people. We try and provide the highest level of service for all of our customers.
Is Santa Claus sitting out front greeting somebody, or you have
an
elf?
No Santa Claus sitting out front right now.
Do you get dressed up as an elf at all during the season, or?
I hope not, because I would not be a good-looking elf.
I'll talk to Hannah about that. See if she can get you all a new elf outfit.
There we go.
Are you having any special events that are coming up that might be going on through the holiday season?
So, we'll have, in terms of sales, we'll have stuff going on all the time. There's a flyer that most people should have seen in their mailbox. Our big special event was our grand opening this past weekend. But in terms of any future events, that is yet to be planned. I don't have any details yet for anything.
Yeah, I just didn't know if Old Saint Nick would be, making a visit to the.
Always that chance that Old Saint Nick could make a visit. Absolutely.
What else do you want people to know about the new store?
I think the biggest thing is that, the people that are familiar with us, the people from the Northeast, and I'll tell you, the reception that we've had from people has been unbelievable. It's been fantastic. The people that are familiar with us are super happy that we're here. I've heard it today again. But if I had one thing to push out to people, it would be that the people who aren't familiar with us, I was talking to a lady today in store. She had never heard of us, didn't know we were about, and she couldn't believe the merchandise that we had. So I would tell you, for anybody who doesn't know who we are, that is the biggest message to get out there, that we are a value retailer that has lots of cool, fun, great assortment of merchandise, stuff that people just aren't going to find elsewhere.
And pool noodles for only $1.29. I mean, holy moly.
There you go. You can even, the other noodle I'll get you is we actually even sell Christmas noodles that you can eat. So yeah, exactly. Like lasagna noodles or whatever, however you want to call it. But yes, we have those. There's Christmas ones of those too.
You put them in the pool and you ride them, and then you
No,
get
no,
out of
those
the
aren't
pool
for
and
the
eat
pool.
them.
Those aren't for the pool.
Oh, I see.
I just want to say that it's the Christmas tree store, but outside the store, it'll say CTS, right?
Right. The logo is CTS, kind of that, even to the point that Ed is making here for us is that the confusion at some point is
Right.
that Christmas in the name is confusing for people. And so that branding for us now is as CTS. So it is, so we can not get away from Christmas as a name because we're still keeping it in the name, but so that people know that we're something else as well too.
Yeah, it's so much more than just the Christmas tree store.
So much more than just a Christmas tree store. I will tell you my example for people is when I started with the company, my best friend in Illinois said, "What's that? Is that a seasonal retailer?" Kind of the conversation we've had a little bit today. And he didn't know about it. And that's that change in name to get to CTS so we can get that branding out to people that we really are. For the people who don't know us, we're a great value retailer that they'll really enjoy shopping at because we're going to provide a great experience with great merchandise.
All right, Andy. Well, thank you so much for coming on. Good luck to you and the new store. And we look forward to seeing you when we come down there. And it's not in Gulf Coast, everybody. It's in the Coconut Point Mall, which is in Estero. And it's called the Christmas Tree Shop, not the Christmas Tree Store.
I'm sorry, CTS.
That is correct. CTS. There you go.
CTS. That is easy for me.
All right, Andy. Thanks a lot, man. Good luck to you.
All right. Thanks for your time today. Have a great night.
Andy Wright, everybody, from the Christmas Tree Shop, and that is at 8020 Mediterranean Drive in the Coconut Point Mall. And it's the
Estero.
It's the perfect time to be in the Christmas spirit. It's time to get in the Christmas spirit.
Just that. It's all the holidays, and they have like gifts and food and drink and party supplies and outdoor furniture. I looked on their website, and they really span the gamut.
Span the gamut, she said, ladies and gentlemen, spanning the gamut. Oh, she's breaking out. You must have break out the thesauruses before you came on the show today, so you can try and.
Excited to get down there. My mom is the biggest holiday person ever. So if she were to come down here, I would ask her to get a job down there because that would be her favorite thing to do. She decorates for any possible holiday season, and she goes all out. She loves it.
Well, we'll look forward to going down to the Christmas Tree Shop.
CTS.
9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Monday through Saturday. Sundays 10 to 7, and it's in the Coconut Point Mall. Everybody loves the Coconut Point Mall, which is close to our favorite hotel resort. What's it called?
Grand Hyatt.
The Grand Hyatt. All right, everybody. We are now going to shift gears a little bit and talk about an extremely important topic going on here. And I have to be honest with you, I had no clue this was going to be on the ballot. I had no idea until like the last week when I started seeing dribs and drabs of it. Right there, you may recognize her, Bobbi D'Alessandro, the former Lee County School Superintendent, joins us to talk about this. Bobbi, how are you?
I am fine and happy to be on with you tonight.
We appreciate you coming on so much.
Hopefully you feel like that at the end of the interview as well, but I'm not going to make any promises.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
So for anybody that doesn't know, give us the background of, your history here in Lee County and really your history in school districts.
Well, I was born in Miami, raised in Fort Myers, a graduate of Fort Myers High School, came back to teach biology at Cypress Lake Junior Senior High School, and came back to work in schools and then administration, and became this assistant superintendent to Dr. James Adams during the time that we were trying to integrate the schools, and became the school superintendent in the 1990s. I also was a school superintendent in Cambridge, Massachusetts for 9 years, and have actually, after leaving there, after 9 years, I trained and coached superintendents throughout the nation, working for the National Institute for School Leaders. And now I finally, in my 76th year, retired 3 years ago, and I'm now working hard to help women run for public office. And I'm very interested in the school system here. Because I grew up here, I'm so passionate about a quality education. And when I learned of this referendum coming on the ballot, I knew that Most people didn't know a thing about it. And so I'm part of a group called Quality Schools for the Future of Lee County. And we're going to inform the public about what's on that ballot and why it's important.
All right, Bobbi, don't jump ahead now. Don't jump ahead. You're going too fast. You're going too fast. So
I just want to ask, I mean, you've had a long career in education. What have you seen over the time, how it's morphed and changed and developed and, hopefully gotten better, but what are your views on things?
Well, I have really been proud of what's happened in the educational system because I've been here a part in Massachusetts and also in Florida. I think they are extremely well trained now. I believe we have an absolutely wonderful superintendent here. Overall in the nation, there's a lot of things that are hard for us right now with safety and security. But as far as curriculum and instruction and the kind of instruction our children are getting, I'm very proud of the progress we've made. And I think it's always a work in progress, but I was a teacher for many years and I'm very thoughtful about the work they do. And I'm very happy that our children here in Lee County, I think, have a quality education that's constantly changing to meet the current needs of our children and our families.
To me, it also seems like we've gotten away a little bit from reading, writing, and arithmetic. Is it called?
It's called
whatever it's called. And then people are fighting about what's getting in the curriculum and should you be doing this? And there's a bathroom and 2 bathrooms and 3 bathrooms and 1 bathroom for everybody. And it's why can't kids just go to school and read, write, and do algebra?
Well, that wasn't going to be our conversation today, but
well, we could skip it. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
Absolutely, you're not, because I really believe that is still being taught. And I think there are a lot of other issues that are being handled. Some of them are very difficult, but I think the quality of education of our kids is the most important thing to me. And that's that they leave our schools being prepared for life, not only academically, but for success in life. And that's why this referendum, that we need to talk about it, because it'll have an impact on our school system here in Lee County.
Okay, so
well, can you explain how the referendum
wait,
about?
Yeah,
okay.
Well, that was I was going to ask her. It's like he
points to me to ask a question, and then he cuts me right down. You see how it is?
It's going to get like this a little bit during this next 30 minutes, Bobbi, and it'll have nothing to do with you. She's so high maintenance, you'll realize in the next 30 minutes. But was it like a politician pulled this thing out of her ear or his ear or something? They just decided they were going to change things. It just seemed like it came out of nowhere.
Well, I think you'd probably have to ask Ms. Persons why she decided on this referendum. She obviously was not happy with the appointed superintendent's process that we've had in place since 1974, and the elected superintendent is a very antiquated process, but she did get it through to be a referendum on our ballot. It's only in Lee County, and I think it's a significant situation for us here. So I think it'd be very interesting to have her find out what prompted her to do that, because we have had an appointed superintendent that has just been appointed a year ago, and I'd hate to think about telling him in 2 years he has to run again.
So how does one person have that much power that she can get it on the ballot?
Well, she obviously had enough support of her colleagues to pass that, so that it was on the referendum.
Gotcha.
So you were saying that it's been in place since the 1970s. So prior to that, it was an elected position?
Yes. In 1974, up to 1974, Lee County had an elected superintendent. But in 1974, believe it or not, Republicans and Democrats got together and said, we're growing, we're building schools. We need to have some other qualifications for our superintendent. Because at that time, the only thing you needed to be a superintendent of schools to be elected was be 18 years of age, a Lee County resident, and not have a felony. Now, believe it or not, those are the same requirements today. Now, think about that. And they said, we know we're going to be faced with lots of growth. Now, we're still having growth today. And our appointed superintendent must be credentialed, a PhD preferred. They've had to have academic success in a big district or one like us. They have to be the right fit. We can choose them from a national array of qualified educators. They have to understand curriculum, instruction, technology, safety, and security. The criteria for appointed superintendent is huge, because when you think about it, Lee County is the 9th largest county in Florida. We're the 2nd largest business in Florida, in Fort Myers, just behind Lee Memorial. We have a $2 billion budget, 12,000 employees. We have 103,000 students, over 100 schools, 932 buses. Wouldn't you want someone very qualified with educational experience running our schools? We believe you should.
Right now, Bobbi, if this thing gets approved, anybody can run for my next door neighbor, the dog catcher, the milkman can run for that position. It becomes a popularity contest.
And I'll tell you what's really interesting to me. In the United States, there's only 2 states that still elect their superintendents. That's Alabama and Florida. And Alabama has the 51st worst academic achievement in the nation. Of the 120 largest school districts in the United States, only 1 is elected. And we're one of those 120. I would hate to be the 2nd elected. When you look in Florida, we have 38 elected superintendents and 29 appointed. Of those 29 appointed, 27 of them are graded A or B by the Department of Ed. I cannot say the same for the elected superintendents. They're usually very small districts, but it's a very antiquated process, you all. But I think when you look on the ballot and you see yes and no, yes always sounds good, doesn't it? But in this case, no is the proper answer. We do not want to have elected superintendents for the good of our children.
So in politics, there's always going to be a pack fight. There's always going to be money behind things. And the name that you mentioned that got this on the ballot is probably going to have some financial support too. How are you fighting that, and how can people contribute to fight that? Because really, when it comes to, I think, when it comes to something like this, is it called a referendum? I don't even know if it's on the ballot. When it comes to something like this, it's always going to come down to that last week or those last few days when people see the flyers in the mail or hear the people on the radio and the TV to fight back and understand. And I haven't really seen, it might be it's too early, but I haven't really seen much on either side. So kind of tell people how they can get involved and help.
I am so happy. A small group of us, I call us the few, the proud. We are people that have lived here most of our life and are really believe in quality education. Pardon the storm in the background.
Don't worry, we got the same thing going on here. So
Quality School, we formed a group called Quality Schools for the Future of Lee County. And we are determined to talk to anyone who wants to talk to us. I've talked to 4 groups this week to let them know what's going on. We would love to have people join us. And they can go to our Quality Schools for the Future of Lee County.com. We have a webpage where you can donate. If you would like to send us a check so that we can market it in a bigger way, please send it to Quality Schools for the Future of Lee County and mail it to 9979 Calusa Yacht Club, Fort Myers, Florida, 33919. And all that information is on our website. We also I've been talking to groups to tell them this is what it means to us. And we want you to be involved. And we will go anywhere, talk to anyone. We'll put ads in the paper. But the more donations we have, the larger impact we can have. And what I think so strongly is, when I was assistant superintendent, I never realized what it would be to actually sit in that seat, the responsibilities you have. Thank God I had the educational background, the administrative background. And the one thing that I learned, the most important thing, was you have to really be apolitical. You have to understand politics. I understood it, but your decisions have to be based not on what's right for the children, not what party is pushing you. And that worries me very much for the future of our county. So it's a very large job. We currently have an outstanding team. It's only been here less than a year. I was just at a meeting this morning. His ideas are great. I would hate to have to tell him in November, guess what? You're going to be fundraising for the next 2 years of your career. And I'll tell you quite honestly, I would have never had 1 minute to fundraise. If you're going to be a good superintendent, it's a 24/7 job. Ironically, the superintendent works for 7 bosses. That's your school board, who are very clear about they're determined, they're conscientious, but they all have a little bit of an idea of what they want. And so working for that many bosses is sometimes difficult, but you can work as a team. And I see that teamwork here in Lee County. So it's not just a job that anybody can do. And I learned a lot on the job, and you surround yourself with excellent staff. And I am so proud of what Lee County has done. And I was proud of the meeting today that the superintendent shared with us his vision for our future. And I want him to spend his time on that and not raising money.
Bobbi, if this thing gets this proposal that they have on the ballot is for an election for how many years?
It'll be in 2022 and be 4 years. Now,
so it's every 4 years. Yeah. So you're basically every 2 years you're fundraising for your next campaign.
Absolutely. And let me tell you something interesting. The superintendent that is appointed or hired has an evaluation every year. They have to show student success. They have to show their management leadership skills. You won't have but 4 years to make a decision about your elected superintendent. That elected superintendent is on their own. And it worries me that what if we get someone that might be elected that may not be capable? You have that person for 4 years unless they commit a felony. That's just ludicrous to think about that for our kids. And my children and grandchildren, my grandchildren are here in the schools now. And I'm just involved because I so believe in helping our children be the best they can be, and having an appointed superintendent that's qualified is very important to this city and this county.
So how are the local politicians on this? When you talk to Kevin Ruane, or you talk to Cecil Pendergrass or Holly Smith, or the people that are elected now, what are their positions on this?
Well, you know, I'm going to be very honest. I haven't talked to Cecil or Ruane about that yet. We're just starting out. But I'd love to have a conversation. But keep in mind that there are Republicans and Democrats. You see, the superintendent is nonpartisan right now. But it would become become a Democratic Republican situation. So there's going to be different feelings. And I don't want to speak for them, but I would imagine they would maintain the party lines. But what I want us to think about is going beyond that. This is not a party position. Should be a nonpartisan position that is there because they're qualified and dedicated in commitment. And I'm just happy to talk to anybody or take contributions from anyone that would like to help us. We need more workers.
Who sets the qualifications now for what a school superintendent is? You know, the job now. Right now, if you're saying if you need to be elected, it could be anybody, and you don't really need any qualifications as long as you're, I guess, a resident of Lee County for a year or whatever whatever the rules are in Lee County. So what are the qualifications that you need to have now to be hired by the board or the whatever committee they set up to hire the school superintendent, so that, you know, they feel like opinions aside of what you think of the school board now or how you think they're doing, the school board really sets up the process to hire the school superintendent. They want the best person for the job. It's a high-paying job. What are the qualifications?
Okay. The American Association of School Administrators have given their ideas of what a school superintendent should be. Every district decides their qualifications, but most of them are very rigorous, like Lee County. First of all, in Lee County, you have to have advanced credentials, and a PhD is preferred. You have to have been in a district and showed academic success. You have to be knowledgeable of curriculum, instruction, safety, and security. You have to be evaluated every year. And so to become a superintendent, we can also go nationally. There may be someone out of Lee County that is perfectly adapted and ready to come to Lee County. As a matter of fact, Dr. Bernier came from Las Vegas, but he also had been in Florida for many years, and he was an outstanding choice. So it's a very rigorous process. And one thing I want to say that I think is very important, some parents may say, well, you know what, we want to be a part of the process, and electing will allow us to do that. But quite honestly, parents are involved in every part of the process of electing a superintendent. There are parent committees. They get to talk to that superintendent, give their input. When I was a candidate for the superintendency in Cambridge, 100 parents and teams of 10 interviewed me. And I joked that whoever remains standing is going to be the superintendent in Cambridge. And luckily, I was the one. Parent voice is very, very important. So I don't want parents to think that they can't be involved in the process and the selection of a superintendent. They can. But if this superintendent of schools starts doing a job that is not acceptable, then the board can fire them. In the case of an elected superintendent, it cannot be fired until the public decides to do that, the citizens.
In school boards than ever before, probably thanks to COVID. They've really been attending more meetings and getting more involved. And I don't know if that's continued after the COVID things kind of died down a little bit, but it seems like they have.
I think parents are very involved. And I think we have a superintendent that's really listening to this community. He's going out to have town hall meetings. He's having roundtables. I'm just very proud of him and the efforts he's making to really learn about the district from the community and not just his staff. You learn a lot from your staff, but when you are new to a community, like I was to Cambridge, I had to get out and know the people, be a part of it. And I think that's what Dr. Bernier is doing here. So I want to tell parents that I want you to feel a part of this system. And being a part of this system, you really need to look at this referendum carefully. Voters, please do that. And let's do the vote no in November so that we can continue to have the quality education that we have here.
Can you know, if this were to pass, what would be the consequences for, in your opinion, for, what would happen in that regard?
Well, one of the consequences would be that our current superintendent would have to run in 2024. And that would mean that he would really have to start thinking about fundraising. I don't want him to spend his time doing that when he's thinking about much more important projects. Anybody in Lee County, 18 or over and not having a felony, could run. And there may be some people that are qualified to run. But it ends up being, in most cases, as I look in elected school district, a popularity contest. And we don't want that to happen with our schools. We have come so far in the education of our students, the quality of it. And I just say, let's vote for educators, not politicians, as far as the school system is concerned.
Did something happen, or what is the reason? It's like I follow things probably more than a lot of people do. I mean, I love local politics. I love local issues, and I follow things, and I didn't see this coming. What started this? I mean, where did it come from, and why is it now an issue?
Well, you know what? Quite honestly, I feel the same way as you do. I think you'd have to ask Jennifer on how did she start to think about this? There must have been something that prompted her to not be happy about the current situation. And why, knowing our county, and she's very knowledgeable of our county, I can't imagine why she would. But I'd rather you have her on and talk to her about that, because I think that would be interesting to know. She obviously felt very strongly about it. And maybe she thought it might give parents more voice, but actually it does not. And so I respectfully can't speak for her, but respectfully, I wish she would have thought about that before it became a referendum, because it could be very disastrous for Lee County. And that's my opinion. And I think you'll find if you talk to people, it might be many, many people's opinion.
When you talk about there are a lot of qualified people. And I know one of the things I've heard people say when I was reading about this was that, if you have an elected position, or if you have an appointed position, you can go nationally. If you have an elected, you have to stay locally. But there have been quite a few superintendents in the county that have come up through the ranks, correct?
I'm one of them.
Right. So there have been, which would also, whether it was elected or appointed, they could also run if it were to change, that anybody could run. It might be somebody that was in the ranks and highly qualified.
Absolutely. It could be. And that's what I'd be hopeful for if that happened. And I'd be hopeful that our current superintendent would absolutely run himself, which I think he would. I can't speak for him. But I think I'm so happy to be on with you tonight, because we really think that this is such an issue that is not known. In every place I go, I'm amazed that people don't even know it's on the ballot. And quite honestly, it's the very last thing on the ballot. I think it's last on the ballot, number one in my heart. I wish that we could, that's why we want to get out to everyone we can. And therefore, donations would be greatly appreciated, because it takes money to advertise.
For sure.
Right now, we're doing a lot of labor work and legwork, and I'm happy to do that from now until November because it's so important to me and for the future of our
We have enough politicians as it is. To make the school superintendent a politician seems like one of the dumbest ideas I've ever heard. It just, I would like to know what the logic is. It just seems like you go through the process of hiring somebody that you think is the best person. Sometimes it doesn't work out. That's life. But you find somebody else, and you want the person to be a qualified person, not a politician.
You know something else? When you think about the whole of all United States, every state except Florida and Alabama appoint and hire their superintendent. There's got to be some logic there. So why we are going to go back to an antiquated system that in 1974, Lee County politicians said, we're not going to do this anymore, just baffles me. So let's start asking those questions and let's start bringing those things up so people can discuss them. And that's why I'm so vehement about what I'm doing and what I'm so proud of the people that are working with us. And I thank them so much because we've done a lot of work already, but we're ready to fight the good fight. We're not quitting till November.
Do you have any events coming up where you're going to be getting the word out?
I have spoken to 4 different groups this week, and we're trying to speak to every group we can. We're going to be advertising in different newspapers. We're going to be on TV. Anybody that wants us to talk to them, we'll talk to them. And we'll be as short or as long as you want us to be.
Bobbi, how much money do you think you need to raise to fight the? I mean, I always joke around that the Republicans have a machine in Lee County. I'm not saying it's a Republican thing. I have no idea what it is, but if you're going against the Republican machine, if in a different race, you need a lot of money. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not saying this is this, but you don't know what it is. You don't really know. I don't really know what's behind it. Maybe you guys do, and you know how much you need. How much money do you really think you need to raise so that those last 2 weeks before Election Day, you're on TV, you're on, Fox Radio, wherever you need to be, you're doing all these interviews. What's your goal?
Well, I can't tell you exact money goal, but we want to get as much as we can because the more money we have, the more we can get to people more succinctly through TV, through advertisements, through the newspaper. So we're going to use every single penny that we get. We got a very large donation this week, which we're very excited about, our first, but it's not going to be our last. But right now we're just doing it with word of mouth, but we want to be able to get out to the public so the public can really be thoughtful about this. Because I think once you look at the facts and look at what's happened in this county, I think the voters will make good decisions. But if they don't know it till they go to the ballot, if you read that referendum, it's worded very poorly. I've had friends that have said I had to read it twice to understand what it really meant. Why it was worded that poorly, I can't speak to that. But I will tell you. And then when you see the vote no, because we did the sales tax and everybody voted yes, of course. But this is definitely a no vote. That's what we have to share with the public. Vote no to this referendum.
And your folks have said that Byron Donalds is very much against this, which is big. Hopefully we'll see him come out and voice his opinion, in local forums because he's up for election. So he'll be out and about a lot more.
He actually is on our webpage saying that he believes very firmly in an appointed superintendent hired by a school board, even though we may differ politically. And I don't know that with Byron, but I so appreciated him saying that because it was very wise of him because it was a nonpartisan remark. It was all about his caring for the children. So I appreciate it very much.
As you've been out talking and trying to educate people, what has the response been from parents that you have spoken to? What have they been hearing?
I've been very happy with it. I've been very excited about the fact that they said, gosh, we didn't even know that. Well, of course we'll help you. So I'm going to give them I'm going to put signs out. I'm going to give them our literature, whatever they can do. I'll come to their meetings of their clubs, of their different societies. We'll go anywhere to get this out because knowledge is power. And right now, not as many people are knowledgeable about this as we would like it to be. So that's
you have signs already that you okay.
We're just beginning, and we'll get them out, and we'll be able to hopefully be on TV and radio a lot. And you're on first radio, so I'm so excited about it.
Well, good. You get to practice on us, so that's good.
Yeah, how do you like that?
So your team has been posting some stuff in the chat box, and they said that there's a community forum at the Estero Recreation Center on September 27th at
Yeah.
6 o'clock. So that'll be great. And it's on Facebook. It's on the Facebook page. So maybe that'll be broadcast on social media.
Go to our
Because
Facebook and our website for events that we have coming up. And I'm sorry that I didn't mention that one.
now you have other folks helping you out. It seems like that.
We do.
Who else is on your team? I know we talked to Jeff McCullers and
Jeff McCullers, Maddie and Sam Stewart. We have Jim Nathan, Dr. Martin from Florida Gulf Coast. I'm going to forget some, but Jan Summers. We have about 10 to 12 people, but we're expanding, and I'm very excited about that. So
now, if somebody wants to join your group, how do they do it?
They go to our webpage. They can call my number, 617-335-3600. I'll sign them up immediately, but they can just sign up on our webpage.
Now, folks should also check out the news press today. I believe it was today. Chris Patrica wrote an editorial opposing the election of the school superintendent. And so if you have a chance.
She's been very vital in our work. And we also will have another op-eds coming up very soon, and we'll be doing lots of letters to the editor. Anyway, we can get publicity. We're going to be in the community news coming up. And so we're a very active group, and we have lots of energy, and we're not going to stop until Election Day.
Well, you're sure hell have a lot of energy. Did you say you were 76 before? I wasn't. I'm not asking your age. But
I'm actually 79, but
no way.
I feel good for 79.
You look
good.
Wow.
I think you're going to need this energy just because it's a lot of information
to get
out. I mean, it's a big group to reach. I mean, the Lee County is a big group. So it's a lot. It's a lot of people to reach and educate them. So, you're going to have to maintain that energy level for another.
All of this group has the most unbelievable commitment and energy because we all believe in children and the best for our kids. And that's worth every minute of our time. So wherever you want us to come, if you want to join us, come on, because we also have a very good time together. We really do. We enjoy working on something that's this meaningful.
Now, Bobbi, does the entire school board feel the same way as Chris does, or is it you don't know yet?
The school board has to work as an individual. They can't work as a group on this, but individually, I think many of the school board members believe in what we're doing. Yes.
You didn't say 100% though.
I can't say that because I haven't talked to everyone.
I see. Well, it would definitely be interesting to know which of the school board members, and I'm not saying this to you, maybe I'll save it for later, that aren't supportive of hiring, because then we need to make sure they don't get elected again, because that's just crazy. I mean, the whole thing's crazy. We have enough politicians as it is. We certainly don't need one sticking their nose in the school district.
I believe, and I hope I'm not speaking out of turn, but I believe most of our school board members really believe in a hired and elected superintendent, hired and appointed superintendent, because they see the quality that we have. And I would be very surprised. I'm not speaking out for every one of them because I want to be sure that I clear with them before I talk.
Right.
That's important to me.
No, I
anything else, Bobbi, before we let you go? Looks like you're getting ready to go out and take the town by storm here or something, or go.
We're ready. We're ready. Yeah. And it's all about, just remember, it's all about our children. Our children deserve to be successful in life and in education. And we can do that by keeping our appointed superintendent. And I want to thank both of you for having us on here, and we'll come on again.
Yeah, we're going to have Charlie on our Saturday morning show on Fort Myers Beach.
I forgot to mention him. Charlie Green is one of our people too.
A week from tomorrow, he's going to be on. He's out of town this weekend, so we're going to keep the ball rolling. And I'm on the team. I'm not going to speak for my wife. Anything I can do to help, she's her own person. But I want to help. I want to help.
Close to the vest.
Yeah. I want to help any way I can, and so I'm gonna give you a call afterward and see how we can help. But thanks so much for coming on, and good luck to you, and good luck to everybody.
Pleasure.
Thanks a lot, and you have a great weekend.
Remember,
like-
vote no.
Vote no, everybody. Bobbi D'Alessandro, the former Lee County superintendent. I'm baffled because I can't believe she's 79. She has so much energy. She is a ball of fire.
She
And
is so well
oh,
coiffed, spoken. I mean, obviously, but she made some.
and she's fighting that one of the dumbest ideas that anyone's ever. I hope we can get Jenna. Is there her name? First name Jenna? Person's
she's
on.
probably not gonna come. You
I mean,
keep saying
I would like to
confident.
know where this idea came from, why it was brought about, and who thought it was a good idea. I mean, obviously somebody's upset with the system the way it is now, and they want to try and change it. It seems like this new school and I'm not paying close attention to the school superintendent,
right.
but it seems like he just got started. He seems like everybody likes him, and things are going well right now. I mean, why would you want to have an elected person running something that has no qualifications to do what somebody that's almost has to have a PhD?
No, I agree. I would hope that, if it were ever to come to pass that, if someone gets on the ballot that isn't qualified, people would realize that. I mean, nobody wants an unqualified person in a position with that significance.
No, knowing the Lee County politics, the way the machine is, it's got to be so political, like somebody.
But to be clear, I think the position would be like the judge position, where it's nonpartisan, but it is elected.
Nonpartisan. In this county, nothing is nonpartisan. Give me a break.
That is how it would be if it was on.
My thinking is, and not really digging into it, is that somebody thinks they can do the job that's in the education system and knows somebody that's in politics and says, let's try and, schnook this thing in, and, and then I can do a better job than anyone they hire because I'm in the education system and I've been in the education system, but I can't get hired by this board because I don't like the board. So it just, that the way, knowing the machine, the way it works in Lee County, I'm just thinking it's got to be so political. I mean, why else? I've not seen nothing in the news that would indicate things are so bad that you need to change the position from a hired superintendent to an elected superintendent. Have you?
No. I mean, I think that's a great point. I mean, I just, I wonder if, as we've seen, do you think it would have anything to do with DeSantis giving the nod and getting in on school board district? I mean, that was kind of a shift too. No?
That's a good point. I never thought of that. I'm going to have to give you a couple of bells for that. I mean, I don't know what DeSantis' stance is on elected
stance. I'm just saying that is there a shift with more politicians getting involved in stuff like that?
And there's the folks at the Quality for Schools for the Future are saying that it is partisan, that candidates have to declare a party to run. So I don't know. It's hard to, I don't know. I just think it's a dumb idea. I mean, you elect the school board to do your work for you. That's the way I look at it. If you don't like who's on the school board, then when they're up for an election, you vote them out.
Right.
And that's clearly happening, or it happened in the primaries. I mean, Gwen Gittens is not coming back. She ran and they voted her out. And so the next person that gets in is, that's how you do things. And I just think that that's where you vote people in. You vote people in on the school board, and then they are then in charge of hiring the superintendent. I think the system, if it works in all the other states but two, it seems crazy that we want to be one to say, okay, we're doing it right, but every other state other than Alabama is doing it wrong.
Their state, but every other school district, in those states. I mean, that's a lot. I mean, it's huge.
It's definitely something to research about how it got to this point. And it would be great to hear persons explain why that this is a better way to do things than
well, I've heard the argument that you just made, that people elect school board members who then And by virtue of that electing that they do, the choice that you make, they then make the choice, or they help make the choice for the superintendent. So there is that voice that you have. You need to make sure you're picking the right voice that you want.
Yeah. I think what you're saying when you're speaking in tongues like that is that people are upset with the school board, because at times, if you do watch a school board, it does look dysfunctional. If you watch a school board meeting from time to time, it does look like it's kind of dysfunctional. So what they're trying to do is get around that.
Just saying, the argument I've heard for that is that you get to vote in school board members who then vote, or not vote, but work on
how does the relationship work when you have elected school board members and an elected school superintendent? I mean, who's in charge of who there? Who runs what? If you have everybody's always running for an election.
I think the roles stay the same, but I think if the school board has a part in choosing the superintendent, there's a little bit more symbiotic relationship that goes on than if somebody just shows up elected.
I think it's crystal clear that right now the school board hires a school superintendent and can fire. When the school, what's the purpose of having a school board if a school superintendent's elected? Well, he can never be fired, or she can never be fired. You're in for 4 years, no matter what.
I know, but you could do other purposes of the school board, not just that.
Okay, but at least it seems like there's some oversight with the school superintendent. If he's doing let's say they made a bad hire, he's doing a crappy job. The school board can say, "Listen, we made a mistake. You got to go." And now at this point, what are you going to do to me? You can't fire me, right? I was elected by the people. I've got 3.5 years more to go, and you're going to have to suck it up and go with me because I'm the guy. It just doesn't seem like it makes any, or the girl. It's just lady. Anyway, to be continued. We hope to have Bobbi on once again in the future, and we're going to have Charlie on from the Quality for, I better say this right, the Quality Schools for the Future on not tomorrow on the beach, but a week from tomorrow on the beach. And we will be back next Friday. Actually, I will be back solo next Friday.
And Saturday.
And I will be live from Miami on location. I will not be here in our home studio. So thank you to everyone for tuning in.
Will you be sitting on the beach?
I will not. I'll be sitting in a hotel. And thank you to Bobbi for coming on. And thank you to Andrew. Go visit the Christmas tree shop in the Coconut Point Mall when you get a chance, everybody. And you all have a great day. We'll be back next week with episode number 3 of Not Beach Talk Radio, Beyond the Beach, the talk of Southwest Florida. Say it with me, everybody. Bye-bye.
Let her come back in.